There are so many things we can do with HGSI. It's really pretty limitless. Now, I know a lot of our users like to concentrate on growth stocks. So I'm going to go into my featured bullish prospecting scans and go into the momentum scans, and I'm going to go to number 6. This is earnings per share and revenue growth with rising earnings estimates for the current quarter. I have another one right below it which is identical, except this one requires that there be an EMA fan uptrend. In other words, the 18 has to be above the 50, has to be above the 100 and 200-day exponential moving averages. So I'm going to click on this view right here, number 6, and we went from 50 down to 33. So if you want to make sure that you're in stocks that have strong EPS, or I should say earnings growth, or rather than strong EPS, but most of these have a strong EPS rank. They don't all, because some of them are growing, but the EPS rank, which is based upon direction and standard deviation, is not that great, but the majority of them are. Instead, let's sort on the raw combo here, and let's look over here to the right side of the screen. This is the EPS change last quarter compared to the same quarter 1 year ago, and this is the previous compared to the same quarter 1 year ago. The revenue was positive on in both quarters, and the projected EPS for Take-Two Interactive is 54.29% compared to the same quarter 1 year ago. So I'll just bring this stock up, and I'll bring the fundamental panel down, and all that information is right here. So this quarter compared to the same quarter 1 year ago, you can see that the earnings growth was 215.8%. And let me move this out of the way, and that same number is right over here. I should be using the arrows when I'm doing this, so let me change this, and this line right here, the earnings projection 54.29, this is where you're going to find that right here. So going back to this quarter is compared to this quarter, which is equal to this column, and the previous 58.5 would be right here, and that's compared to this quarter. So this is where this is coming from, with a strong projection going forward. Also notice that the group is going up. There was an effort to rise here. There was a VPA flag here confirming strength, and this is today. This is the intraday. I'm doing this on Friday, 10:06, so there was follow through here, and also this is out to a 52-week high. Now I'm primarily concentrating on growth here. One other thing that I should point out is that even though this is moving up, notice that the volume is light, so you have to be careful. It's running below the average volume, even though it's up $2.65 and the range is 91.33. It doesn't mean it's not going to go up, but today there is muted interest based upon volume. Now this market is very extended, as we know, so maybe it's just reluctance to take on positions going into the weekend. So the market's closed. I'm on a 15-minute delayed basis. It's 3:09 Central Time. I just updated. So these are going to be pretty close to closing prices. Let's just go back and take a look at Netflix. Now remember when we were in here a little earlier in the video that there was a VPA flag in here because this stock in Netflix was trading on pretty heavy volume near the midpoint of the candle. Now it closed up near the top of the candle now, and if we look at this, we can see that it closed at 85.98% of its daily range, but I didn't have to go to the warehouse because I put that information in here also. This is a warehouse behind us. These are warehouse columns. This is a warehouse view, and anything that we can put in a warehouse view back here can be put into a chart. Now let's look at this other chart, which I'm also including. Once again, these are going to be under basic charts, and I'm going to go to number 15. It's the same chart, except I put some different information in this warehouse, or this additional warehouse view. I want to know the last VPA signal condition and what it was, and the days since. So this would be yesterday's information and not today's intraday information. So we had a signal yesterday. Now I'm going to point this out. Here is the last VPA signal. It was an effort to rise, and that was yesterday, because this represents data from the close, not intraday data. You can't, the only intraday data we can get from the warehouse fields has to say intraday in front of it, and these do not. So this information is going to be from the prior day. Now what I wanted in here is I also wanted the trends in here. Now you can get this information also. I'm going to go back to the other chart. This information, a lot of it's up here, plus the VPA flag information, but I just thought it would be nice to have this warehouse view up here. The warehouse view and this information. Now maybe these charts are misplaced for now, but that's why I do an occasional reorganization, and I'll reorganize some of these. These are experimental charts, so, and that's why I wanted them down here or under basic charts. Now these horizontal lines, these are determined, they are not forward projecting, they look back, and they are based on the, let me bring it up here, the zigzag indicator. And you can put the number of lines in here and the sensitivity. The sensitivity is 2% based upon the zigzag, and you can see support line colors are blue and red. They're not always going to be in here, all of them, but I like these because they give me an idea of where support and resistance is based upon the zigzag. The zigzag indicator has no predictive value because it is based upon changes that occurred in the past. But this is a nice addition that Matt put in here so we can look and see support and resistance. Now here is longer term resistance based upon the zigzag, and you can see that it broke through. And if I were to go to another view here, and let's just go down to my rocket stocks folder, and if I go to number 2, stocks hitting 52-week high, you can see that both Netflix and Take-Two hit a 52-week high yesterday. This is what I mean about all the flexibility and all the things that we can do with HGSI. They're tremendously powerful. I'm trying to integrate all of this in together, or all of it together, so just to give you an idea. And this is all I'm going to have time for this month, but I will be back with more next month, and I'll continue this series and show you a lot more power. But remember, just with the Top 50 Group Inclusion Report, you can go through any of these views, and especially if you like to work with earnings, stocks that have good earnings, concentrate on these two. And I already explained this over here. This next one here just requires the fan uptrend. Let's see how many it cuts it down. It only went down from 33 to 31, so most of the stocks in the top 50 have earnings growth and projected earnings growth and are trending. These are the kind of stocks that we're looking for to the long side. In the future, I'll get into some of the short side views and how we can utilize them.